our newly announced 1/24th scale Messerschmitt Bf 109G has certainly caught a few eyes. And if you're wondering which paint scheme to choose, this video might just help you decide. What makes this kit truly special is that schemes A, B and C tell the fascinating story of one single airframe, an aircraft that served under 3 different countries during World War II. So let's trace its remarkable journey from its birth in Germany to capture in Sicily and finally across the Channel to the UK. One of the most iconic warplanes of the Second World War, the Messerschmitt Bf 109 became synonymous with the air war over Europe. Designed in the mid-1930s, the Bf 109 first flew in 1935 and entered service with Nazi Germany's Luftwaffe 2 years later. It was among the few combat aircraft to see action from the very start of the war in 1939 until its end in 1945. A versatile and adaptable aircraft, the Bf 109 served as a fighter, fighter-bomber and reconnaissance platform. It was constantly upgraded throughout the conflict, with the Gustav series, the Bf 109G, becoming the most widely produced variant. The G series entered service in 1942, powered by the Daimler-Benz DB605 engine, which gave the aircraft greater performance and power compared to earlier models. The G6 in particular became the most numerous version of all, with more than 12,000 built. Manufactured in several factories across Germany and Hungary, the type saw countless field and production modifications throughout its operational service. Our first scheme, Scheme A, represents Bf 109 G6 Trop, work number 15270, yellow 14, 6JG53. Based in Sicily in early July 1943. Built in March 1943 by Erler Maschinenwerk in Leipzig, the aircraft wore the standard late war fighter camouflage of RLM 74, 75 and 76 in a splinter pattern typical of Erler built machines. When the Allies invaded Sicily, the aircraft was unserviceable and ultimately abandoned along with hundreds of others. It was later discovered at Camiso Airfield and inspected by the RAF's 43 Squadron following the site's capture. But this was only the beginning of its story. Scheme B follows the same aircraft, still work number 15270, but now under new ownership. The airframe soon caught the attention of pilots from the United States Army Air Force 57th Fighter Group. It was repainted in American markings and became a squadron hack while the squadron was based at Pachino, Sicily during the summer of 1943. It's remarkable to imagine that the same aircraft once flown by the Luftwaffe was now being used by American pilots in the Mediterranean theatre. A vivid example of how the spoils of war could change hands and identities in the heat of conflict. Eventually, the United States Army Air Force lost interest in the aircraft and was passed along once again, this time across the Atlantic. Scheme C depicts the same Bf 109 G6 Trop, work number 15270, now designated VX101, with number 1426 Enemy Aircraft Flight, better known as the RAF Waffe. This unique RAF unit was responsible for evaluating captured enemy aircraft to better understand their strengths and weaknesses. On the 4th of February 1944, Yellow 14 arrived in the UK, created and shipped to RAF Collyweston. Once reassembled, it was completely repainted in the RAF Dayfighter scheme and given British markings. Now flying in British colours, this former Luftwaffe fighter was used for evaluation and demonstration flights. However, its service in British hands was short-lived. On the 19th of May 1944, while landing at Thorney Island, the aircraft suffered an undercarriage collapse. The damage was severe enough that the decision was made to scrap the airframe and use it for spare parts. After serving under 3 air forces, its flying days were finally over. The kit also includes 2 additional schemes, both depicting different Bf 109Gs that served later in the war. Scheme D represents Bf 109 G6, work number 166224, white 10, 4JG3, based in France during August 1944. Built at Messerschmitt's Regensburg factory, it carried the same RLM 74, 75 and 76 camouflage, but in a later war pattern. After being damaged in combat, it crash-landed and was found abandoned by advancing US forces. Scheme E shows a Bf 109 G5, work number 27119, yellow 11, 9JG54. Flown by Emil Hecker of 9JG54 at Ludwigslust, Germany in early 1944. This aircraft, also built by Erler, was flown by several pilots of JG54 before being shot down in April 1944, with its pilot wounded in the incident. Together, these schemes showcased the diversity, adaptability, and complex history of one of World War II's most iconic fighters. But perhaps the most compelling story remains that of Yellow 14, a single machine that flew for Germany, America, and Britain, each repaint marking another chapter in this extraordinary journey through the war. Whether you choose to build it in Luftwaffe, United States Army Air Force, or RAF colours, the 1/24th scale Bf-109G kit lets you capture a unique moment in aviation history. A reminder that every aircraft has a story to tell.